Welcome back to the show. Let's go to line number 4. Jason, you're on the air.
Good morning, Patty. How's your day going?
So far, not too bad. How about yours?
I can't complain. I was calling about the imminent deal that's being reported between us and Quebec on the Upper Churchill. Bit of a shocker to see that pop up in the news today.
I have to say I'm not shocked, because I've got an ear to the ground with some people who are a little closer to the action in Ottawa and Quebec, because we've been told they're getting close, and so I'm not too surprised, but I'm extremely anxious to see what might be included, if and when that is the announcement coming tomorrow.
Okay, so I guess then there's no real definitive on whether it's a deal or if it's, hey, look, this is what's been proposed. That's what I'd be hoping for, because this does not concern only Liberal voters. This concerns Dippers and Tories as well. Everybody in this province. This is a major concern, and you don't have to. Every Newfoundlander knows, and it's pretty widely known our opinion of the original deal and who got us that deal. And I think over the last number of months, we've had certain things that have kind of been rammed right in there and a lot of pushback against, for example, like the wind turbines. And it seems that a deaf ear is being provided to those people. So I'm really concerned about who's at the helm while these negotiations are on. I mean, you have a province who lobbies the federal government against us on one side.
In what form? What does that mean?
In multiple things. In trying to get like an Energy East pipeline coming here, they've blocked that from coming to this side of the country. They blocked us. Well, made it financially not feasible to run our lines directly through Quebec to plug into the mainland grid. That would have been very beneficial. We wouldn't have had to have explored the Anglo-Saxon route and developed that.
So who's they?
Quebec, the government of Quebec.
Right. So, I mean, but interprovincial borders, which are arbitrarily made up and it costs Canadian consumers billions of dollars annually on a variety of fronts. We needle around things like how much booze or wine or beer you can take over borders. But that whole issue, which I talk about every now and then, is massive. So they is the province of Quebec. So are you suggesting that the federal government should be responsible for removing things like the free flow of energy in particular across the country? Because they're the ones really pushing a lot of electrification. And so, in my opinion, if the federal government through policy is going to push electrification, they should also be involved in the free flow power. They should also be involved in ensuring there's enough electrical engineers, They should also be involved with transmission being built out and upkept.
Absolutely. I mean, we're talking critical infrastructure that affects everybody. And, I mean, maybe I got it wrong, but I would think that the aim of the game is to have as many provinces standing financially independent and successful as you can get. So to have gaps like you have Alberta and BC, there seems to be some bad blood there with blocking oil pipelines going to the coast to ship off to foreign nations. And then you've got we'll block your wine coming back. And then over on this side, you've got, Quebec won't allow us access to the mainland grid unless we pay the man first, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it should be more uniformity and unity between everybody. And I think that should be a role of the federal government to have, a more united country. And everybody doing good, everybody being prosperous and successful, So I think I've read one comment today on a group on Facebook where it was, if it's going to be a deal, this should go public first. And I know Fury came out and said he wasn't going to negotiate publicly, which, right off the bat, you're losing points for credibility in the eyes of a lot of your electorate because, A, they didn't vote for you, and B, that sounds pretty shady and it doesn't really coax trust in your judgment, because you don't want to relay the details and everything. This is our power.
Isn't negotiating in public, though, risky business? I mean, and regardless if we're talking about a Conservative Premier or a Liberal Premier or an NDP Premier, because some of the upper hand that we may indeed have, and I think we have some, maybe more than we've ever had. The last court challenge was 2017. We lost like 7 or 8 in a row. So the only little bit upper hand kind of felt like when Premier Legault comes to the province and says out loud it's a bad deal, and we know that Hydro-Quebec, 15% of their portfolio is the Upper Churchill. So should we actually have been given a blow-by-blow update as to how negotiations were going? And could that have compromised us? Because
if you're saying that you think the federal government should be in there and they should be making these things happen and making it unity between provinces, then it shouldn't be any problem to be public, because even a 50-50 split, if you really want to go there, I mean, everybody be successful, everybody be prospering when it has to go between provinces in an example like this. But Legault blows me away when you can sit down and table a budget with equalization money and laugh and cheer and applaud by tabling a budget with equalization money. I mean,
that's a different conversation, and it's why they're allowed to pay such low rates is basically because of the Upper Churchill, which gets backed out as so far as revenue inputs go, and the equalization. Look, that conversation kind of drives me a little bit around the bend, because especially out in Western Canada, when they continue to say things like Alberta pays too much in equalization. Alberta doesn't pay anything into equalization. It's remarkable to me how we still can't figure out how some things work. Look, the formula itself is extremely complicated, and I don't pretend to know it, but provinces don't pay equalization. I just don't know how that message can't seep into the minds of so many. And I know full well that people know better, especially premiers. And when Jason Kenney was at it, about the Quebec boogeyman and Alberta pays too much, Jason Kenney was a senior cabinet minister under Stephen Harper's government when this exact formula was created. And yet he spoke like that, which confuses a lot of people and confuses the conversation. I don't think we want the feds involved in any negotiations between two utilities, because that's what it is. It's between Hydro and Hydro-Quebec, Newfoundland Labrador Hydro and Hydro-Quebec. So it's not a federal issue. I don't want them involved in that at all. Then you also pointed out pipelines across from Alberta to Tidewater, which is actually happening. It's completed. We all chipped in on it. $30 billion plus.
Oh, the Trans Mountain?
Yeah.
Oh, that was already going to be dealt with the private sector, but then federal policy stepped in and made for a toxic environment where they didn't foresee it to be feasible to continue through with the project based on projections of what way the government of this country was going.
But that's not what happened, though.
No,
that was a court decision. There was parameters set out about everything to do with that type of energy transfer, and it was all about levels of consultation and environmental protections. The federal court ruled that had to be stopped, and when it stopped, of course, carry costs became prohibitive for the private sector, even though they were actively trying to get out of the deal in the first place. So the court stopped it, and then, of course, the federal government decided that they were going to buy it. And what was once like $7 or $8 billion is now costing Canadians $30+ billion. So the court stopped that.
That's a wild sum of money.
It is a wild sum of money. And you mentioned Energy East. Yeah, there was some federal government blame to be shared there, but primarily the blame lied in the city of Montreal. Right? What's his name? Used to be a federal member, Denny. His name eludes me at this moment. But the city of Montreal interrupted it that long enough that it became a cost problem for the proponents. So anyway, there you go. I guess we'll all find out at the same time about the Quebec deal. So are you suggesting that there should be a referendum on this particular deal if and when it's announced tomorrow?
I think so, yeah. And I would think the opposition parties and our independents should be stepping up to say, hang on now, put the brakes on here. This is something that concerns everybody. And from my experience, I don't trust the judgment of the current government in this province to make a decision like this. I honestly don't. I don't think there's been transparency with this government. There's been a lot of shady backhandedness that I've seen go down, and I've seen a lot of pushback for other things, like I was saying, the turbines, and they're the untouchables. That's what I've come into the habit of calling them. Yeah. They're not accountable, it doesn't seem.
I always share that, wind energy or alternative sources are a liberal thing, but conservative premiers in the country are looking at the exact same stuff. So it's not a political spectrum issue, because this is being driven by the private sector. We also have to remember the province isn't putting any money into these things as of now. And we talk about the onshore wind proposals relentlessly on this program. So here's my one point, and then I'll let you react to it, and then I'll have to say goodbye. So referendum, I get it. This is a big deal. It's emotional, a big deal, and a financial big deal. But without a real firm understanding of exactly what 2041 means, I don't know if we can have an informed vote. I really, truly don't. I think people have skewed views of what 2041 implications are. And if we don't understand that in full, we can never have an informed absorption or opinion or vote on something that we don't understand. Because I bet you if I went on the street today and talked about 2041 with 10 different people, I'd get 7 or 8 different answers as to what it means.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And are we talking a 50-year deal with them? Are we talking another 100-year deal with them? I mean, this is substantial, and it can impact this place for years to come.
Well, it can't be extended to 100 years because the dam won't be operational in 100 years. Plus, I don't think it can extend beyond 2041. This is a renegotiation. I would imagine what happens in 41 will be negotiated again closer to, I assume, but we don't really know. That's why, it's been hard to come by details, and I've been talking about it for years on this show, and I'd love to be a fly on the wall so that we could be, talking about it as the negotiations proceed. But I also truly understand the downside of showing your hand.
So you think this is a renegotiation to the last few years of the original deal? This isn't establishing a new deal that will extend past 41. That's new to me. I didn't think that way.
Sort of. I think there's a possibility for a redress from 69 to today, and then what the next 16 years look like. But it's hard to negotiate a firm deal on power this far out from 41. If there's a renegotiation about the split between now and 41, I think that's probably all that I can see coming possibly tomorrow, because from 2041 on, the conversation will inevitably have changed. And, whether or not the energy warehouse that we pretend we are, or we hope to be, will that include simply Muskrat in the Upper Churchill? Will it include Gull? Will it include free flow of power through the province of Quebec? Will it include cash on the barrelhead as a form of redress? So without knowing exactly what they're going to present tomorrow or whenever it happens, it's hard to know whether or not beyond 2041 should have been a negotiated deal, because the equity stake does not change in 41, which a lot of people don't understand. So it's the percentage of revenue afforded to either utility, consequently either province, is I think all we can really hope for. And there's still court challenges here. Let's not overlook the fact that Innu Nation are going to have a say. Why? Based on the law. Not based on political leanings or wants or demands, based on law. Jason, final thoughts to you.
I would. It's a large box to unwrap, isn't it? Yeah. No. If that's the case, yeah. Okay. I could. Maybe it'd be good for Fury to come on here and chat with you to alleviate or allay any fears that people might have, or maybe paint a bit of a broader picture than just. Don't worry about it. We got this. Because there's a lot of people that I know that don't swallow that at all, right? Yeah. The only relief or comfort that I feel, even if it's cold comfort, is it would be the absolute harry-carry of deals if it wasn't beneficial to the province. So if the Fury government signed anything that wasn't a step up for us, they'd be absolutely writing their ticket out of office. What my plan is, and I don't mind informing you of the plan, after the deal is announced, in whatever form or fashion, we can absolutely have the political conversation. First, what I'm hoping to do is have an informed, experienced voice on the show to talk about 2041 and how the deal has worked and what the independent people think is the only winnable deal that we should be selling or signing. And after that, we'll go to the politics. Absolutely. And you know what? I second that motion. Could I just 15 seconds more? Yeah. A little update. I'm the one of 2 people who were involved in that house collapse in Churchill Park. Me and my mom. Oh, okay. Yes. And now I know who you are. Yeah. We are still here dealing with that, and we're basically have completely been left on our own with this now. They offered us up to October to help with the U-Haul, and now we are on our own. We're close to demolition and getting the place ready for to sell and to be a blank slate. But we still have the GoFundMe out there if anybody wants to help out with gas expenses and stuff and propane to heat the trailer we're in. But yes, we're still here dealing with that, and no foreseeable end in sight right now.
I wish you good luck with that, and I appreciate your time this morning, Jason.
Thanks. You too. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.